Hey guys, it's Jen here from Nails by Jen. Welcome back to my channel. If this is your first time to my channel, welcome to my channel. So today's video is going to be another watch me work video on this fabulous client. Now these nails are quite simple and I'm using some decals that I found in my decal book that I didn't even realize I had until I started reorganizing my decals. So I will have to try to see if I can find links for them for you guys because I've had them forever, but these turned out so soft and pretty. So if this is something that you're interested in, stick around, keep watching. As always, don't forget to click that like and subscribe for me. If you have any questions or comments, leave them in the comment section below, and let's get started. Alright guys, so I'm starting off by removing her old design, and the first thing that I need to do is get rid of her rhinestones. So I have been using the Glitter Mix Canada rhinestone gel. I think that's what it's called. I will post a link below for you guys, and I really like it, especially for rhinestones when you're doing like clusters or big rhinestones like these ones that are in the center here. They have all stayed on. I have had a few ladies who have had little rhinestones or smaller rhinestones pop off. I just think they're a little harder with their nails and they maybe are bumping them into things, or they have their hands in things, because obviously you can see she didn't lose any of her rhinestones and she's really good with her nails. So how I actually choose to remove my rhinestones is with an old carbide bit. So I have one of the skinnier cylinder ones. You will notice when I use my 4X carbide bits to remove product, they're a thicker or a wider bit. This is a skinnier one, and I have been using this same carbide bit for years to remove my rhinestones. I know that a lot of people prefer to use nippers to take off rhinestones, but honestly, this carbide bit chews through the Swarovski crystals so fast. Now, all of these are Swarovski, including the larger ones, and you can see how quickly it removes them. The only thing that I will do is I get my client, you can see her other hand kind of came in camera there, because I get them to put their fingers or their hand up in front of the nail, just in case a little rhinestone kind of flies back towards them. The palm of their hand will stop it or prevent it from flying towards them. So I will do that just to prevent any obviously injury or anything like that with the rhinestone. But other than that, it works so much faster. I find sometimes when I use a nipper, my hand can slip, and I've actually caused injury to a client by stabbing them with the nipper because it's so pointy and my hand has slipped, and I've never caused any injury when using a e-file bit like this one. So I much prefer using a carbide bit to get rid of rhinestones. So now I'm just going through and I am removing not only the color that's on top, but also the white acrylic that I built underneath. So I wanted to build a white base when I originally did these nails, just so that that yellow color would pop so bright. It's a Madame Glam neon color. So when I did this, I left a thin clear layer because her other set prior to this was a clear set, and I just built the white on top. And I almost wish, well, I don't almost, I do wish that I would have left the clear layer a little bit thicker. One of her nails on her right hand, you will see when I start hand filing, it breaks off. Now that one actually was a broken nail from a couple of sets ago that we resculpted, and it was broken quite far up. So where it snaps off now is where the break was. So that one we knew was going to break off eventually. But also her thumbnail, I believe it is, on one of the hands, I can't remember as I'm speaking right now, one of them also breaks off and I have to resculpt them. And I think it's just because I left the clear layer too thin, and then when I had to take down all of this white, it got so thin that it did break off. So just keep in mind, if you are going to do something like this, you want to leave a bit of a thicker clear layer so that when you go to file the white off, you don't have any breaking issues and you won't have to resculpt anything. So I'm just going to continue to go through all 10 fingers with my 4X carbide bit and debulk, take all of that white off, and then we'll get ready for the next step. Alright guys, so next I'm going in with my cuticle pusher and I am pushing back that proximal nail fold to expose all of the cuticle, and then I'm going to go in with my hand file and I'm going to refine the shape and basically create the foundation for the new acrylic, and I'm going to also remove any little bits of lifting or any little bits of white acrylic that are still left on the nail. And this is where you will see her ring finger on her right hand and her thumbnail on her right hand are the two nails that end up breaking. Again, the ring finger was the one that had the break, so it just kind of snapped off where that break was. And the thumbnail, I think it was just because she had some pocket lifting, and when I got all of the pocket lifting off, it just got so thin that it just kind of broke off. So then I end up having to reform and sculpt those two nails as well. So the next step is to go in with my little cuticle bit. I get these ones at the Pink Chair. I will link them below and also post a coupon code for you guys here. So as you can see, I get my clients to kind of turn their finger and their hand for me so that I can get up along that right hand side. And I first go along and I will do all of the fingers on the one hand on the right side, which is their left side. And then I will go back and I will do my left side, which is their right side. I just find this a lot easier and quicker than switching my e-file from forward to reverse, and maybe it's just because I'm used to doing it this way, and the clients really don't mind. It's not that hard for them to turn their hand. I just tell them we're doing hand yoga for a few minutes and they're totally fine with it. You really have to get your clients to work with you. They have to understand that you are sitting in the chair for 9 to 12 hours a day, and they're only sitting there for an hour. So if for 15 minutes or 10 minutes or, I don't know, a half an hour or something, they're a little bit uncomfortable in maybe the way that they're having to hold their hands or the way that they're having to sit, it's really not that big of a deal for them. They can really suck it up and do it for you, because we can't adjust our body for 9 to 12 hours in a day, or we won't be able to do nails for a very long period of time. So it's totally okay to ask your clients to adjust their hands, especially, we have the whole quote unquote relax your hand thing. Sometimes your clients want to sit with their elbows out and then their hand is at a funny angle, or they're stretching their arms out and their elbows are off the table, which makes their hand stiff. You have to really communicate with your clients and just ask them to put their hands and maneuver their fingers in their hands in a way that makes it easier for you to do your job quicker and more efficiently. And next, I'm just going in and removing all of the dust, and then I'm going to go in with my nippers and get rid of anything that is basically standing up or anything that is dead or just looking a little gnarly. I will remove that for her as well. Alright guys, so next I'm going in with my swipe solution from Young Nails, and I'm just cleansing the nail. So I wanted to give you a little update on whether or not I felt like the swipe solution was making a difference with any of my clients who had little bits of lifting or more lifting issues, compared to when I just used to use my custom 50-50 mix of 99% alcohol and 100% acetone. In my opinion, it honestly has not made a difference. I don't know if that's just me, or maybe their swipe solution is just very close to what I was using as my custom solution. So I probably won't continue to buy this swipe solution myself. I'll just continue to use my 50-50 custom mix that I used to use. But if you find that it makes a difference, I would love to know in the comment section, because maybe there's just something else that I could do in conjunction with the swipe solution that would make a difference. So the next step is to apply my 2 layers of protein bond, and one thing that I have been doing and being very careful of with the protein bond is to not let the protein bond pool up into that cuticle area, and I'm making sure to not apply it overly saturating that area. I think maybe sometimes that was an issue that I was having, was I was putting too much protein bond up in that cuticle area near the proximal nail fold. So I'm being very diligent to make sure that I apply an even thin layer of the protein bond, and I do 2 layers of this. Now, if you're wondering why my bottle brush looks different, it's because I transfer my protein bond into a different bottle. I just find it a little hard to use those tiny little white bottles that the protein bond comes in. So I just put the protein bond in this new bottle. And again, I'm going to apply my 2 layers and then get ready for my acrylic application. Alright, so as you can see, I'm now applying a form to that ring finger. Now these forms are new to me. I just recently purchased them from Canada Nail Supply. I absolutely love the 2M Beauty forms from the Pink Chair. They are my favorite forms, but I didn't need to place an order at the Pink Chair, and I was placing an order with Canada Nail Supply, so I just ordered some forms from there. They are super pretty. They're holographic. I will say that I still like the 2M Beauty ones the best, but these will have to do for now because I ordered 500 of them, so I'm using those ones. And I am going to put the form on her ring finger and her thumb, and then I'm going to sculpt the nails in a custom acrylic mix. So the measurements that I use for this custom mix are 4 teaspoons of Cover Peach or a Cover Pink color, and then 2 teaspoons of clear, so it's basically 2 to 1, and then I also added a half a teaspoon of the Bubblegum Pink from Young Nails, which is a clear or transparent pink acrylic, just to add that extra little bit of pink hue to it. So I just wanted to show you guys how I pick up a large bead with my smaller brush. I don't use a massive brush like a size 20 or 22. My brush is a size 12 or 10, I cannot remember. It's called the big one from Joann's. And basically when I dip into my liquid, I do not take any of the liquid out of the brush, and I go right into the acrylic, and I'm able to grab a larger bead that way. So I don't feel like you have to have a massive brush in order to do longer nails. Maybe you could go up to, a size 20 if you're really, really comfortable and you really like that. I've seen ladies who have used 2 brushes in the same acrylic application, where they will use a larger brush to grab a large bead of acrylic to build down further on the nail, and then once they get up into that cuticle area, they will use a smaller brush to make sure that they're not oversaturating the skin, which is so important, to not oversaturate the skin with the monomer and product. So you don't have to have a larger brush. I'm not saying it's a bad thing if you know how to use it properly, but as I said, you don't have to. I use a smaller brush and it works just fine. Alright guys, and the next step is quite simply to go in with my hand file and shape the nails. I'm doing all of my finishing file with my hand file. Again, I've mentioned in other videos that a lot of people like to use their e-file for this, but because of my carpal tunnel, I find it a lot less painful for me to just go in with my hand file. And because I lay my acrylic quite well, I don't have a ton of bulk to file off. I'm really just defining that shape and giving her those long coffin nails with that sharp free edge. Okay guys, so like I said, we decided to go with these decals that I have had forever. I honestly have probably had them for 10 years and I forgot about them until I reorganized my decals, which I have a video on that, so I will link that below for you guys as well. And when I saw these, and she saw them as well, we just thought they were so pretty. I wasn't sure how well they were going to stick because they are old and they unfortunately did start to kind of pop up while I was applying them, so I did have to go in and add some glue in a few areas, and I did have to cut some of them so that I could get them to lay flat. So one of the tricks that I have talked about in the past, and I've been doing this for years and years when it comes to decals or anything like stickers that you're putting on the nail, is that you can make little slits in them all around the nail. So don't cut through the center, but you can make like 3 or 4 slits around, and then that way you can press down each individual little piece and you won't get all of that creasing and that bubbling. I will see at one point, I know that I did cut some of them, so I will show you what I mean, but I also think I have a highlight on my Instagram that I talk about it as well. So yes, so I'm going to go through all of the nails. We were just kind of deciding where we wanted to place them and if she wanted all of them to be basically looking exactly the same and have the flower in the same place, or if we wanted to kind of mix it up, and we did end up mixing them up. So I'm just going through and applying all of the decals onto each nail, and then I'm going to go in with a thicker top coat. So I'm actually going to use the Young Nails gloss. So I'm going to put that on first just because it's a bit thicker, and then I will finish with the Young Nails stain resistant. So she also decided that she wanted some rhinestones, and I had already applied one layer of the gloss onto her pinky nail. So I just basically went in and I filed that little area at the top, and I'm just using a resin from Kiara Sky to apply the rhinestones. So I'm just going to apply one rhinestone all the way at the cuticle area there in the center, and then I will go around after with my Young Nail Stain Resistant to make sure that I get the gel all the way around each little rhinestone so that they can hold in place the entire time of her wear of her nails. All right, guys, so that is it for this Watch Me Work video. I love how these turned out. These are definitely a Jen set of nails because I love simple, I love pink, I love everything like blush and floral. So these are definitely something I would wear, but not quite as long because I can't really function with the long nails, especially when I'm doing nails. Kudos to all of you ladies out there who have extremely long nails and you are performing services on clients with those claws. Kudos to you. A round of applause because I don't know how you do it. So I hope that you enjoyed this video, you guys. If you did, please share it with someone else. And as always, have an amazing day.